You know, sweetbreads are considered a delicacy in many cultures, and here in America can most often be found in high-end restaurants. Sweetbreads are versatile. They can be pan-seared, roasted, braised, breaded and fried or grilled in a variety of ways. The only secret though is to fully clean them. And this is precisely what we are going to do now. Soak defrosted sweetbreads in cold water for at least 3 hours and up to 24 hours to eliminate any blood. During the soak, you want to change the water a couple of times if necessary. Drain sweetbreads and place them in a saucepan and cover with cold water and milk. Heat that up, add salt and boil for a minute and place meat in ice water to immediately chill. I can read your mind. I know it looks gross, but this is going to be turned into something phenomenal. Sweetbreads is a culinary name for the thymus glands, typically from calf, riz de veau in French, or riz d'agneau for lamb. These glands are classified as offal in culinary circles, meaning literally the off-fall or off-cuts from the carcasses, les abats in French. Cleaning sweetbreads can be an intimidating step. Great news! It's easy. You just want to peel away the membrane that surround the meat and remove the fatty, gristly, sinewy portions and veins. The challenge is to clean sweetbreads without tearing it apart. Though, if it happens, it's not a big deal. Once cleaned, sweetbreads should be pressed to give them a nice firm texture. If you don't press them enough, they will be spongy. Sandwich them between a few sheets of paper towels and 2 trays. Top with some weight and place in a refrigerator for 4 hours or longer. After that time, you can divide sweetbreads into desired portions. So, I'm gonna make 2 different entrees. The first plate is going to be composed with 3 bite-sized portions, just about 2.2 ounces each, 70 grams. And the other one is going to be served with 1 larger piece of meat. And I'm gonna show you a technique using meat glue that sticks meat together. Meat glue is a substance used in cooking to bind proteins together. So you just want to dust meat glue all over the meat, mix that up and roll into a tight log and refrigerate for a few hours before cutting. Long story short, meat glue is actually the nickname for trans glutaminase. It's used in various food, including sausages, chicken nuggets, yogurt, and cheese. Chefs in high-end restaurants even use it to produce novel dishes like spaghetti made out of shrimp meat. Alright, next we are going to make one of the components we're gonna need for our first and beautiful sweetbread entree plate. You name it, red butter. So I am going to make a compound using 3 ingredients: softened butter, blackcurrant or blueberry puree, and French purple mustard. That's it. So I'm going to spread this out into a very thin sheet between 2 parchment papers, and then I'm going to freeze it. By the way, the French purple mustard, la moutarde violette de France, is a condiment made out of grape must. Once completely hardened, break into pieces and put it back in the freezer until ready to use. Next, I'm going to show you how to prepare salsify. Salsify is a root vegetable belonging to the dandelion family. It's really good. Rub roots under water first, cut the ends and peel thoroughly. Back to my memories, I used to have those very often when growing up in France. Great news for the vegetarians, we'll be prepping and cooking a bunch of vegetables in this lesson. And I will show you an awesome way to cook them, a technique learned from one of the most famous chefs of his generation, Alain Ducasse. Here it goes. Most vegetables can indeed be cooked using this easy to follow step protocol. So you basically begin by sweating vegetables in fat. It could be olive oil, butter, duck fat, whatever you like. Add seasoning, and after 5 minutes or so, you deglaze with stock. Could be chicken stock, veggie stock, beef stock, and you finish cooking according to the vegetable. And that's exactly what we are going to do right now. So I'm gonna throw salsify in butter, I'm gonna sweat them for 5 minutes or so, season with salt and pepper, and then I'm gonna add the chicken stock. Cover and cook them until fork tender. Should take around 30 minutes. Next, sweetbreads. Season them on both sides with salt and heat up a frying pan. Add a drizzle of grapeseed oil and start cooking. By the time it cooks, throw in there chunks of cold butter. After 5 minutes or so, flip the meat and do likewise, adding butter as it cooks and baste it. Great news! Besides its amazing flavor and texture, sweetbreads are nearly impossible to overcook. By the time the meat is resting, I'm going to finish my salsify, make nice cuts, and throw in there some of my chopped green onions, set aside. Meanwhile, I am going to make a quick sauce, a kinda gastric sauce. Using the pan in which I cook the meat, I'm gonna remove some excess fat and deglaze with apple cider vinegar. And I'm gonna add in there the rendered juice from the sweetbreads and reduce to syrupy consistency. Let's do now plating. So arrange artfully frozen red butter pieces, just about 5, it's perfect. Add the salsify and top with the meat and the sauce. Gorgeous dish, isn't it? The following sweetbreads entree idea is gonna focus more on vegetables, and I would like to call it farmer's dish. On top of the list, mushrooms. So I like to toss mushrooms, especially button mushrooms, in the water for just a minute or so. Pat dry and cut off bottom stems and save them for your next veggie stock. For this recipe, I want my mushrooms wet, so I'm going to sweat them in butter first, along with shallots, seasoned with salt, pepper. After 5 minutes or so, I'm going to add chicken stock, or you can add white wine, or both. Cover, lower the heat, and cook for about 10 minutes. In the meantime, cook baby potatoes. Peel and halve. Next, carrots. So you can use baby carrots as well, any kind of carrots. Scrub them under water first, trim, peel, and make 1/4 inch, 6 mm bias cuts. But that's only if you use large carrots. Here you go, I'm gonna use Anna Ducasse's method. Sauté or sweat carrots in olive oil and butter, seasoned with salt, pepper, and you can throw in there some fresh herbs such as thyme. Cook for 5 minutes and add chicken stock. Cover and cook on low for 25 to 30 minutes until fork tender. So for the asparagus, asperge in French, you could definitely cook them the same way. But I'm gonna blanch them first, along with the English peas, and I'll give them a quick sauté afterwards. Blanching greens do great things. It stops enzymes actions, which otherwise cause loss of flavor, color, and texture. In addition, blanching removes some surface dirt, brightens color, and helps slow vitamin losses. So now I am going to finish cooking the English peas with bacon or pancetta and add sliced asparagus stalks and save asparagus tips for the garnishing. Both asparagus tips and potatoes will go through a quick sauté right before serving. Alright, veggies and carbs ready to go. Next in the agenda, I'm gonna take care of the sweetbreads, and the log we just made earlier is gonna be cut into just about 7 ounces, 210 grams portions, and I am going to cook them the same way I did earlier, à la Meunière, using brown butter, cuisine or beurre noisette, and in my opinion, it's one of the best way to cook sweetbreads. If you want to use another kind of fat, I would suggest duck fat then. Cook sweetbreads 5 minutes on each side and let rest. Remove excess fat from the pan, and I'm going to make the sauce as I did earlier, slightly different though. Cook down all together ville demi-glace, some of the mushroom cooking liquid, a splash of red wine vinegar, and the rendered juice from the meat. Reduce to desired consistency and taste it. Wow, this is ridiculous. Alright, so now the fun, and this is actually my favorite part. Plating. So arrange artfully all of the vegetables and carbs together and add the meat. For the sauce, you can serve it separately or around the veggies or on top of the meat. Two different styles of presentation, both excellent. Bon appétit!